So what the hell is happening to Malayalam movie? I have just watched Unni Mukundan just released the movie Marco. This is going to be the most violent action movie ever made in Indian cinema. Maybe if you compare it from Hollywood, Bollywood, Tamil, Telugu, Spanish, any other language, this is going to be the most violent movie. If I'm saying violent, you may think that it's like a hands, chopping hands or head. No. It's not that violence we are talking. It's some kind of brutal violence. Okay, I will give you a perspective. When the movie started, the theater was fully packed. 30 to 40% of them were women. But before the climax, almost all of them left. I personally saw one lady behind me vomiting. Before the climax, that kind of violence, brutal violence is there in the movie. You know, the censor board made a cut of 8 minutes. Then the movie came to the theater. But now, without that 8 minutes, the effect is actually going to kill you. That 2 hours, 40 minutes, it's a pure action, pure violence. Maybe a year ago, Animal came, the movie Kill came, KGF was there, John Wick was there. But this movie is on another level, maybe from another universe. And this movie set a standard in the Indian film industry. This is going to kill you because one thing is there. If you are going to watch this movie, better you go today or tomorrow because surely government or censor board is coming again. They are going to cut the main part of this movie because that much brutal violence is there. I will tell you, it's going to kill you. Okay, if you are going to watch the movie, once you left the theater, it is going to haunt you for days or weeks, depends upon your mentality. The one thing is that one thing we have to tell, two hands off we have to give. One is to Haneef Adeni, the director of the movie. The second is to Unni Mukundan. Because from Malayalam industry, I know a lot of great movies actually made. But this movie is not a great movie. This is the most violent movie. I think that maybe only Mukundan can do this role. Because for this movie, we need extreme physique, extreme dedication, and the training. There is one Indian stunt scene there. Actually, one stunt scene on a staircase. Around 10 minutes fight scene there. That is going to set a new benchmark on the Malayalam and Indian industry. Because for doing that kind of stunt continuously for 10 minutes, one shot, you need extreme physique, extreme dedication, and that much understanding about the fighting and all other aspects. Okay, I don't know how this movie made. Okay, you have to give a great hands off to Haneef Adeni because if you are looking deep into the storyline, I'm not going to give you a spoiler, but the thing is that I will give you a small idea about the story. The story is actually revolving around Marco, that is Unni Mukundan, the character. His elder brother George acting, Siddique is the main actor acting as George. Then George got another younger brother, Marco's younger brother Victor. He is actually blind. George is a gold dealer, maybe a smuggler, and he actually running a syndicate. Other gang leaders are there in the syndicate. Then something very dramatic, very dangerous happening to his family. Then Marco came into the action. There is one movie in the dialogue that is actually, I really like that dialogue. Okay, George likes business. Marco, his younger brother, likes family. If something happened to business, George will come. But something happens to family, Marco will come. So Marco came, then the movie exploded. So the introduction scene is there. The Unni Mukundan's introduction scene. I think that is the most badass introduction scene I ever saw in a Malayalam or an Indian movie. Because you know KGF introduction is there, Animal is there, Kill is there, but you are not going to witness such kind of brutal, violent action in an introduction scene. That much intensity, that much violence is there in the introduction. Then the movie is going in 120 kilometer. Then the story slowly unfolds, new characters coming. The most importantly, I have to tell you one name, that is Jagadish. Maybe if you are an ardent fan of Malayalam movie industry, maybe you know who is Jagadish. He is actually very famous for his comedy role. But this character, as the villain of this movie, changed the entire aura around him. That character, how he acted in that movie is really going to change the narrative around him. Normally, a Malayalam people, Kerala people, or other people actually seeing him as a comedian, but this character is the most badass villain that you ever gonna see in the Indian industry. That much level of acting is there from Jagadish. Siddique was there. Siddique acting as the elder brother of Marco, then Victor as the younger brother of Marco. Everybody was there. But in terms of acting, there is not that much to tell because the story is basically based on this violence and action. The acting, the plot are actually very less. It's a small plot. Like in a lot of movies, you watch the same plot. Okay, the gang leaders, the syndicate, the feudal wards, and all the things are there. But the violence they brought on this movie is from some other planet. Okay, it is like 10x animal or 20x Kalki, or 20x kill or 30x John Wick. That kind of violence is there. My advice is that if you are going to watch the movie, tell your mother or sister, wife, if they are accompanying you, tell them that this is going to give them a lot of trauma. So if they are okay with the storyline, if they're okay with the violence, then they can come. Otherwise, don't go to the theater. And to you also, if you are going to watch the movie, get ready for the trauma. Okay, you may take time to recover from the visual and the violence that movie is going to give you. It will going to skew your head. I don't know because I watched around more than 2,000, 3,000 movies, but this is the first time that old dog I watched. I watched a lot of that kind of movies that give you trauma, but this movie, it's been, I think, 3 4 hours. I left the theater but my head is still spinning. I don't know why is that. I'm still remembering what happened to that child. I'm still remembering what happened to that lady. How much? I don't know how they made this film. Okay, how they visualized this scene. Okay, it's really, really dramatic, and this is going to be the most violent film. I'm once again saying that violent film you are ever gonna watch because above this nothing comes because there is above Everest nothing is there, Mount Everest. So if you go above this film, maybe censor board will cut down that part. So this is going to be the benchmark in the history of violence movie. So once again, better take your shoes ready, go to the theater, watch the movie, get ready for the trauma. I don't want to give you a spoiler. I don't want to give you anything about the storyline. This is the storyline. Family is there, gang wars there, gold syndicate is there. That's it. Actually the storyline is very less. Okay, there is no big scope for acting. Only the scope for action, violence. You can see if you are a car enthusiast, you can see a lot of Range Rovers, G wagons, Defender. A lot of car is there. But the aura Unni Mukundan brought into this movie is the dress, his attire, how he presented himself, his hair, everything is going to attract you. Each and every character actually acted well. They made justice to the director, the plot, the visual, the violence. This is going to be a festival of violence for you. Once again, a festival of violence. Okay, don't wait and watch this movie on mobile. If you're watching this movie on OTT on mobile, you're going to get 5% of the experience. Okay, if this movie is running very near or near theater, you can go there, watch. Okay, otherwise, maybe I actually told my friends, you better go and run and watch the movie because surely government is coming after this movie because this is not 18 plus movie, this is 30 plus movie. Because I don't know, many people are actually leaving the theater before the climax. Okay, that's what the movie's aura, that's what the violence they have filled in this movie. This is going to be the craziest movie that ever made in the Indian film industry. You need a huge gut to do this movie. Unni Mukundan got that, Haneef got that, the crew got that, especially the background score when the stunts happening. Ravi who did the background for the KGF is really wonderful. You will experience a 10x horror in this movie. So I'm signing off, but you better go watch the movie and ready to explode your brain and ready to get a trauma on your head. Signing off.